I can't help but feel that a large part of it is godlessness. You and I have been talking. I mean, it's actually kind of funny that you and I are friends now because Charlie helped bring us together too. You and I used to fight on Twitter. We didn't like each other years ago. And then slowly but surely, the environment changed. I was following you on Twitter. I'm like, this guy makes so much sense. You sent me a nice DM about my Twitter one time. Then we got together backstage at a Turning Point event with Charlie right there. And
that was Charlie.
Had a hug and things change. He helped bring us together too. But my point was simply that, the environment's shifted underneath our feet and they really are shooting our people now. I mean, I've been pointing out to the audience, remembering 4 Republicans, including Trump, were shot at that Butler rally. 4 MAGA faithful were shot at that rally. Then they tried to shoot Trump again the next month, this guy who just was found guilty down in Florida. And by the way, fired shots at Secret Service. And almost got away with killing Trump at that. I mean, thank God the Secret Service found that guy. So yeah, you're right. It's our people who are in danger. And I think it's godlessness, Jack, because I watched you at Charlie's memorial with those rosary beads in hand. It was so powerful. You and I have talked privately about, the devil and trying to stave him off. And I do think being steeped in faith is a comfort to us. And I think the fact that so many on the left have lost all connection to it is what's driving some of that madness.
That's exactly right. And you lose God, or even worse, you hate God. You become resentful at God for creating you, for creating the world, for creating society. And so that resentment breeds envy, it breeds anger, it breeds dissociation, it breeds disaffectedness. And Charlie talked about this all the time. He said the biggest problem in America right now is disenfranchised young men. And he said if we can get that question right, and that's economics, that's the demonization of young men in America, that's immigration obviously plays a huge role in that, housing, all of it. If you can get that right, you can actually fix so much of the problem in society, because there's no path for a lot of these people, but even if they have great grades. And by the way, many of the people I just mentioned who've turned to this violence did have great grades, 1,500 SATs, or a member of the robotics team, different things like this. And it's that lack of God, that lack of humanity, that lack of understanding that we're all given certain talents. We're all given different talents. It makes us different. And yes, that's totally fine, but we can all be united in the fact that we're all from the same country. We all have one creator. We all have those shared values. But if you lose God at the center of all of this, and that's why I believe that the social reformers and cultural Marxists, what they did in the 1960s, the very first thing they did was they made it disreputable to cite God in public, disreputable to talk about the Ten Commandments, disreputable to say, I read what's your favorite book? The Bible, right? People would laugh. So, that's your favorite book, but that's the Bible. Charlie would send me a Bible verse every single morning. He would just do this to a bunch of people. Whatever he was reading, he just text it off. Before we even, it didn't matter what, hit piece was coming out or what political scheme we were working on. And not that we had any schemes. I have no idea what we were talking about. I completely denied all of them. And we would start every day like that. Every single day would start with a verse from Scripture, and it'd just be whatever he was reading. Or sometimes, because I was East Coast, he was West Coast. I might wake up earlier, and we would share that back and forth. And that was just at the center. That was just the center of everything that we do. And so, to so many people who said, "I don't understand how you guys can go on, and how come you're doing all this, and are you making it light of it?" I said, no, we're not. It's that we know that Charlie is with his creator. And in fact, when we've, I've gotten the show together and we have all the guys and myself and Tyler and Andrew and Blake, and, we get there, we always leave that one chair. And Megyn, when you came as well, we left the chair empty, and we say Charlie's on assignment with God. He's just on assignment with God, and he's going to be on assignment because God has a higher purpose for him. God always has a purpose for all of us. In this case, he's got a different purpose for Charlie, and it's tough to accept that. It's tough to understand that in some way this is a higher will, this is God's will. I have trouble with it. It's obviously a challenge, because you sit there and you think, why, just 1 inch to the, 1 inch to the right, God, maybe that would have been enough, but it is what it is.
Why didn't Charlie turn his head like Trump did? Why didn't Charlie just turn his head for that
Yeah, and honestly, I try really hard not to go down that path, because when you go down that path, it's the self recriminations and the over and over, and it's recursive thinking, and it's not good. It's not good thinking. It's not a good path to be down. The much better path is the one that Charlie always focused on, was put God at the center. Put God at the center and understand that there is a reason for everything that happens, and even in a case like this, there is a reason. And I remember when it happened, and people were asking me, could I do media? Could I be out there and sort of just be a face while people are dealing with the arrangements and hospitals and everything that goes attendant with someone's passing. And I said, you know what? I could hear this little voice of Charlie in the back of my head that said, Jack, go do it. Go do all of it. That's what I want you to do. And I said, okay. So I just sat, I'm right here in my home studio, and I just sat and did media for about 24 hours straight, and then hopped a plane.
Of course he wanted you to do it.
That's Charlie saying, keep going.
He would be so proud of you and the way that you've handled yourself in the wake of this terrible tragedy. You've been just perfect, Jack. You've been strong, but you've been honest about your emotions. You've called back to faith many times and reminded us at every turn who Charlie really was. What was one of the many reasons I wanted to have you on today. The connection to faith, the importance of it, and the leaning in is something that's resonating beyond right now, thanks to him. And my team pulled this clip of Charlie talking about faith. I hadn't seen this one, but I love it. I'm going to play it now. Here it is.
I don't go to UT, and I'm not the legal age to vote yet. And my parents are divorced, and both of my parents have separate political views. My mom's conservative and my dad's a liberal. And my mom is always kind of pushing me to bring politics into my life. And I was wondering, A, should I care? And if I should, why? And which parent should I lean more towards?
Got it. I see you have a shirt here that says, whom shall I send? Here I am. By the way, the most important thing is to bring Jesus into your life. Let me just make sure I say that. Most important thing. So the scriptures are very clear about this. Christianity has a heavy emphasis on honoring your parents. Now, to contrast that with the prior questioner, I don't think she's doing a good job of honoring her parents, because she's accusing them of being in a cult.
Yeah.
This is very important, everybody. Even if your parents share values and views and a worldview that you do not have, you are biblically obligated to honor them, which means to spend time with them and to love on them and to go visit them. Even if they are wearing a Black Lives Matter and in this home that we have no hate and trans lives, you still go and spend time with your parents. Because if you are incapable, in this case, of honoring your earthly father, you will never honor your heavenly father. And it's very clear in the 10 Commandments, and then I'll get down to the specific advice. In the 10 Commandments, it is the only commandment, honor your mother and father so that you may live long in the land of which you are in. It is the only commandment that deals with a promise and your country. You will cease to have a strong country, America, if we do not have kids honoring their parents. Now to your personal advice, find out what you believe and why you believe it. If a parent ever tells you to do something that is sinful or goes against God, that is a violation of what it means to honor them. It doesn't mean you have to blindly obey them, but you must honor them, which really means to treat them heavily, basically to treat that with a lot of weight. I would instead be close to both of them. It's a very difficult situation. You're going to grow up a lot quicker because of it. And come to your own independent political views and let them be known to each appropriate parent.
Jack, it's so stunning because Charlie was saying basically to conservatives, no matter how far to the left your parents are, love them, honor them, don't abandon them. Like this is the man, that not the caricature that you read in the New York Times. They keep doubling down. They continue to run hit pieces on him. They cannot get enough bad ink spilled on Charlie. I don't know if it's willful, right? Like they know who he was, but they just want to lie about it, or if it's fear and they just have to interpret the limited clips they've seen in the most negative way. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, it is an interesting sense, and I do think about some of the New York Times, the newsroom uproar that we saw over the past couple of years where, again, they've just been completely beholden in so many of these cases to people who have that particular belief system that is so woke, so far left, and I mean, it sounds cliched, so captured that they're not willing to look deeper at these clips. Look, and you saw right there, Charlie, when someone would come up and you know, I didn't really catch this person's politics, but let's say this is someone on the left. Charlie would go to them and say, I care about you. I actually care about you personally, and he did, by the way, and he would try to reach out to them and say, what are your personal beliefs? What are your values? What drives you? What do you care about? What are your interests? And so he would sidestep the political, you know, and I know that, you know, the headlines of the clips, you know, Charlie Kirk dunks on or Charlie but he wasn't like that. And maybe that's, you know, the algorithm us playing into it a little too much, but Charlie was not like that. Charlie would say, I care about you as a person. And yeah, we may disagree, but hopefully we can come to the same place, or at least come to some agreement or clarity on that which we want, which is a better life for ourselves, a better life for our families, and a better life for others. And by the way, you don't see that on the conservative side of shunning family members. You don't see that of cutting people off, of ostracizing. That is it's one direction. It always comes from the left.
Buy gold and get free silver. That's right. For every $5,000 purchased from Birch Gold Group this month in advance of Veterans Day, they're going to send you a free patriotic silver round that commemorates the Gadsden and American flags. Look, gold is up over 40% since the beginning of this year, and Birch Gold can help you own it by converting an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in physical gold. Plus, they will send you free silver honoring our veterans on qualifying purchases. And if you are current or former military, Birch Gold has a special offer just for you. They are waiving custodial fees for the first year on investments of any amount. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and tens of thousands of happy customers, consider diversifying your savings into gold. Just text MK to the number 989898 for a free info kit and to claim your eligibility for free silver with qualifying purchase before the end of the month. Okay, before the end of the month. Again, text MK to the number 989898. Message and data rates may apply. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.